Good evening and welcome to Derby Date Night. Are kidding me here with Seriously? We have left our kids, OMG and LOL, home for the night so we can watch Team Indiana take on Team Kentucky. Welcome to the Delaware County Fairgrounds, where we are being hosted by the Corn-Fed Derby Dames. I will go through Team Kentucky and Team Indiana and let you know who is going to be playing tonight. So for Team Kentucky, we've got number 3, Reckless Ratchet, number 8, Silver Rose, number 12, Soda Pop Ruckus, 16, Violator, 18, Scrappy Sue, 55, Queen of Hearts, 92, Lex Luthor, 99, Kitty Omega, 111, Jams Beasley, 122, Wicked Wench, 149, Bambi Thumper, 314, Mia, 331 is Tank, 412 is Battlescar, 931, Killin' Dem Hoes, 1983 is Thriller, 85 Bunny, and 623 Ruby Von Starship. And your Team Kentucky is coached by Chad, Beckett, and Creeper. Team Indiana, we have got number 00 Roulette Wheels, 4 Boggs, number 5 is Trudy Botchery, number 12 is Rogue, 24 Rita Repulsa, 25, Lickety Splint, 62, Jesse Fisher, 76, Will Smith, 84, Wham Bam, 123, Diamond, 126, Tear 'em Up, 168, Shaun of the Dead, 214 is Spinelli, 247 is Punky, 687, LC Hammer, 789, Goldie Braun, 913, Flannery O'Clobber, 594, Malls Dolls, and 669 is Teeth. Team Indiana is coached by Coach Quick, Dee Fleward, and Danny Mack. We've got our whistle, and we are about to start our first jam. We've got Reckless Racket for Team Kentucky. And Team Indiana, we are looking at Will Smith. The jam is on. And it looks like Will Smith is out for an early lead jammer. Team Kentucky is trying to get out. Will Smith is coming around the pack, and she is scoring some points, and she's going to make another lap. Team Kentucky is out. We will see if Will Smith is going to call the jam. She is going to call the jam. And that jam will end with 4 points for Team Indiana. Will Smith. All right, Team Kentucky, 55, Queen of Hearts. And Team Indiana is Jesse Fisher. Both jammers working to make their way through the pack. And Jesse Fisher comes out as your lead jammer. We've got a Team Indiana player going to the penalty box. Jesse Fisher's coming around with Kentucky right behind her. And she makes it through. Team Kentucky also makes it through. Jesse Fisher has gotten a little stuck in the pack there. Let's see what happened with the score. Looks like we are tied at 4-4. Nope, Team Indiana. Jesse Fisher was able to get 3 points in that jam, which takes Team Indiana to 7 and Team Kentucky to 4. All right. Start of jam 3. It looks like we've got Rita Repulsa for Team Indiana and Bambi Thumper for Team Kentucky. Bambi takes lead jam. This is the first lead jam for Team Kentucky, but Rita Repulsa is right behind Bambi Thumper. Let's see if Bambi can score some points before Rita catches up. And Bambi calls the jam. Team Kentucky scored 4 points, taking them up to 8. And it looks like they kept Indiana scoreless on that one, so Team Kentucky's now taken the lead. We've got Roulette Wheels for Team Indiana and Reckless Ratchet for Team Kentucky. Roulette Wheels takes a very quick lead jammer, while Reckless Ratchet is just getting out of the pack with a great tiptoe on the line. Roulette Wheels comes through, and she's going to make a full pass with Reckless Ratchet right behind her. Spinelli's going to try to stop her, and Reckless Ratchet also makes it through the pack. Both jammers are continuing some scoring. Coach Danny Mack has told Roulette Wheels to keep running the jam, so she is going to continue to go. Reckless Ratchet keeps answering all of her points with points of her own. Both jammers stuck in the pack. Roulette Wheels decides to call it off. That was a lot of points scored for both teams. Looks like we are landing at a 19-18 game. Team Indiana is ahead by 1 point. All right, we've got Will Smith lining up for Team Indiana and Queen of Hearts for Team Kentucky. Will Smith, the pack has stretched out quite a bit, and Will Smith takes lead jammer. Team Indiana is holding Queen of Hearts as much as they can. I'm hearing a lot of whistles, which suggests to me that there are some people going to the penalty box. And Will Smith gets out and scores some points, taking the score from 19 to 23. Diamond ends up with a penalty for a directional, and we now have many Team Indiana players in the box. This is an opportunity for Team Kentucky. However, Will Smith is still your lead jammer. We've got a little jammer on jammer action happening here, and Will Smith gets stopped by a stop block, and there is a Kentucky player that is headed to the box with that one. Queen of Hearts from Team Kentucky still making her way around, and we've got a lot of action happening in the pack here as Will Smith makes it through for another scoring pass. All right, everybody's kind of figuring out their way again as Will Smith is coming up again for another round. Queen of Hearts right there with her. Both of them are a little bit stuck behind the pack. Let's see who can make it through to score some more points here. Will Smith with some pretty fancy footwork makes it through. Rita Repulsa she makes it past the last blocker, and she is also through. Will Smith with a quick runaround tries to do an apex jump and is blocked by Diamond, who then ends. I'm not sure if Diamond got a penalty, but someone got a penalty there. Looks like it was Team Kentucky headed to the penalty box. We've had a lot of visits to the penalty box on this long jam. What a jam. That was a lot of derby action. There were also a few penalties there, so we'll see how that shakes out. So after all of that scoring, we now have Team Indiana at 39 and Team Kentucky at 27. Considering Team Indiana was only up by 1 at the end of the last jam, that was a very successful jam for Team Indiana. We've got Jessie Fisher on the line for Team Indiana, and Bambi Thumper is for Team Kentucky. Jessie Fisher was out to an early lead. Bambi is still currently stuck in the pack as Jessie Fisher is coming around, and it is an easy 4 points for Jessie Fisher. Bambi Thumper is still in the pack. She is struggling to make her way through the Team Indiana's walls. Here comes Jessie Fisher again to score a few more points. Bambi is now out of the pack. Jessie scores another 4 points, and she calls the jam. That was a great 8-point jam for Indiana, taking them up to 47 with Team Kentucky at 27. All right. We've got Rita Repulsa for Team Kentucky and Reckless Ratchet for Team Indiana lining up. Rita attempted to go on the outside and ended up with a penalty, so she is going to be sitting in the penalty box. This is an opportunity for Team Kentucky and Reckless Ratchet to score some points here. Coming through, she attempts to make an apex jump and is unsuccessful, so she's going to have to recycle back to the back of the pack and make another attempt. Working her way through, that pack is moving, and she is also moving her hips to get through and get past the Team Indiana blockers. Team Indiana jammer was still in the penalty box at the end of that jam, which means the jam will start with only a Team Kentucky jammer on the line. However, the Team Indiana jammer is standing right now, which means she has less than 10 seconds until she is released, and then she will come out and she will be able to also attempt to get through the pack along with the Team Kentucky jammer. Right before the whistle, it looks like a timeout has been called. While we have a break in the action, I'd like to introduce you to some of your refs tonight. We have Bambi Lance, Ogre, MC Ninja, Richie Cranium, Bon Appetit, Wes Slamderson, Croc, and Pure Polly. And that whistle means it's time to get back to the action. I'm seeing in the comments it's a pretty laggy feed. Apologies for that. We have got the internet that we've got, and we are trying our best to get you as good of a feed as we can. All right, starting off with a power jam. Team Kentucky takes the lead. Queen of Hearts not far behind her, though. Jammer coming out of the box from Team Indiana. Also makes it through. That was a big fall over there. Team Indiana making her way around. And the jam is called. Rita believes she got 1 point. It looks like she might have even gotten 2 points on that one. Oh, I'm glad to hear it might be getting fixed. Hopefully the feed can get a little less laggy, because this is a good game so far. Looks like we're at 47 with Team Indiana to 33 Team Kentucky on that one. At this point, we've finally got the penalty box empty, it looks like. So, nope, we don't. We have a Team Kentucky pivot in the box. So, jam starts, and we've got Roulette Wheels for Team Indiana, Bambi Thumper for Team Kentucky. Roulette Wheels is out as your lead jammer. Bambi Thumper is working her way through the pack. As Roulette Wheels comes through, dances around the outside to score 4 points. Bambi Thumper spreading out the jammers, attempting to make it through as Roulette Wheels is coming through for her second pass. Easily swishes in, swishes out, and scores 4 points. Bambi Thumper almost out of the pack and makes it out past that very last jammer. Roulette Wheels scoring another 4 points. Bambi coming around to score her first points. And it looks like there are a few points going to be coming out of Team Kentucky for this one. Just barely gets pushed into the inside line and is forced to recycle back to the back of the pack. Roulette Wheels through for another 4 points. Bambi Thumper being held, but she is definitely stretching the pack out here. Roulette Wheels getting a little bit caught up in the pack on this one. Both jammers working their best to get their way through as Bambi is recycled again. And Roulette Wheels takes the inside line to get through for another 4 points. And the jam is called. That was a lot of points for Team Kentucky. 67 to Kentucky, or for Team Indiana with 67, but Team Kentucky scored some points of their own as well with 37. All right, we've got Will Smith for Team Indiana and Reckless Ratchet for Team Kentucky. Very quickly, Will Smith is out of the pack and is your lead jammer. Reckless Ratchet is taking the outside line, gets past Rogue, and is out of the pack as well. Will Smith coming through, attempts an apex jump, which, wow, calls the jam. And it looks like there were 3 points scored on that one, bringing Team Indiana to 70 points. That was a pretty awesome apex jump. All right, we have Jessie Fisher on the line for Team Indiana and Queen of Hearts for Team Kentucky. Jessie Fisher does a little zig, a little zag, and is out as your lead jammer. We've got a blocker go for Team Indiana going to the box as Jessie Fisher comes through for a pass and is forced to recycle to the inside. Queen of Hearts still trying to get out on an initial. Both jammers trying to make their way through the pack, and Jessie Fisher coming out of that pack. Queen of Hearts working to stretch out that pack as much as she can, continues to get recycled, and is Jessie Fisher getting called for a back block on jammer Queen of Hearts, who is now past. She was going to do it looks like she was thinking about doing a star pass, but decided not to and made her way through the pack. So coming around on this opportunistic power jam is Queen of Hearts. Only having 2 blockers to deal with, gets pushed to the outside by Wham Bam, who recycles her back. Wham Bam and Diamond have both skated together for a lot of years and are working together right now to hold Queen of Hearts back as much as they can. Directional penalty was just called on Diamond from Team Indiana. Here comes Jessie Fisher back in. She gets pushed to the inside by Wicked from Kentucky and is splitting the pack up as much as she can, making it to the outside. Queen of Hearts also making it through the pack right behind her. Because Jessie Fisher went to the penalty box during that jam, there is now no lead jammer, which means this jam went for the entire 2 minutes. Indiana's pivot Diamond is still in the penalty box, which means the next jam will start down a Team Indiana pivot. And looking at at the penalty box, it looks like they will also start without a pivot for Team Kentucky. Bambi Thumper is lining up for Team Indiana, and for Team Kentucky, switch that. Team Kentucky, Bambi Thumper, and Team Indiana, Rita Repulsa. Both trying to make their way through the packs of 3 blockers, with both pivots being in the box right now. Team Kentucky takes your lead jammer status, making it through on the inside. Bambi Thumper. Looks like the Indiana jammer, Rita Repulsa, has been sent to the penalty box, which gives Team Kentucky an opportunity here with a power jam. Team Indiana currently has all 4 blockers out on the track. Bambi getting recycled to the back of the pack by a Team Indiana blocker lineup. The jam is called. Team Kentucky scored some points there, getting up to 45 versus Team Indiana's 80 points. All right. And a timeout has been called. I'm not sure if it's an official timeout or if it was called by one of the teams. The refs are going to have a meeting in the middle of the track, and for those who don't know, referees are also called zebras, and a bunch of zebras are called a dazzle, so they are just a dazzling group of referees looking at that lovely dazzle. I know you don't come here for the jokes, but that's what you're going to get stuck with when you listen to this. Okay, and the timeout is over. We've got Rita Repulsa for Team Indiana and Reckless Ratchet for Team Kentucky. Both jammers attempting to make their way through. These are very slow packs, very strong blockers for both teams happening right now. Wicked Wench pushing Rita off to the outside, forcing Rita to recycle back. We've got a Team Kentucky pivot headed to the penalty box as Team Kentucky Reckless Ratchet takes your lead jammer status, followed closely behind by Rita Repulsa. Ratchet coming through to the inside, gets recycled back. Rita Repulsa coming into the pack, goes to the outside and makes a 4-point pass. Reckless Ratchet with an apex jump is going to be recycled to the back of the pack. And the jam is called as Rita makes it through for a few more points. We're going to start the next jam down a pivot for Team Kentucky. All right, Team Indiana is wow, that was a very quick lead jam from Roulette Wheels, followed closely behind by Queen of Hearts. Both jammers are out. Roulette Wheels comes up to the apex and makes it right over the inside line, immediately calls the jam, and Queen of Hearts is unable to score on that quick jam. All right, it looks like Bambi Thumper is on the line for Team Kentucky, and Will Smith is on the line for Team Indiana. All right, Diamond tried to create some room on the outside, but Wicked Wench was unmovable from Team Kentucky. Both jammers in the pack, and Will Smith is out. Very strong. They are looking good. Will Smith is coming around the pack as Bambi just barely makes it out of the pack as Will Smith is coming up, and they are going to score 4 points and call off the jam. That takes Team Indiana up to 95 points, with Team Kentucky at 47. We've got Reckless Ratchet on the line for Team Kentucky and Jesse Fisher for Team Indiana. A full complement of blockers with nobody in the penalty box. And Jesse Fisher sweeps to the inside line and takes lead jammer, followed closely behind by Reckless Ratchet. Jesse Fisher got a penalty on that one, so she will be sitting in the penalty box. Reckless Ratchet is going to try and make it through the pack on this power jam and breaks the Team Indiana blockers apart and makes it through for 4 points. Because Jesse Fisher was lead jammer when she went to the penalty box, this jam will go the full 2 minutes. Oh, nope. I guess Team Kentucky was the lead jammer on that one. Sorry. So it was a shorter jam so they don't have to run forever, because going 2 minutes in a jam is a long time to go. Okay, so we're going to start this jam with just a Team Kentucky jammer. Jesse Fisher still in the box. However, she is standing, which means she's going to be coming out relatively soon. Queen of Hearts is your Kentucky jammer, attempting to grab that lead jammer status as Jesse Fisher is coming out of the box. Queen of Hearts pushed to the outside, and Jesse Fisher just sweeps off to the inside and is able to take that lead jammer status. Queen of Hearts working to separate Team Indiana as much as she can, as she is recycled by Diamond to the back of the pack. She is taking off her jammer star, possibly to try and pass to the pivot, as Jesse Fisher has made another 4 points and comes around to try to score some more. And Jesse Fisher comes through for another 4 points. Queen of Hearts is being sent to the penalty box, it looks like. I'm not sure what the penalty was on that one, but now Jesse Fisher has an opportunity for her own power jam as she comes through for another 4 points. Team Indiana, this jam has now gone above 100 points. They are now sitting at 107 as Jesse comes around to see if she can. Oh, a big hit from 331 on Team Kentucky. That was Tank, who is unfortunately going to the penalty box for that one. And Team Kentucky now has only, looks like, 2 blockers out. And somehow Jesse Fisher went to the penalty box during that. But Queen of Hearts is coming back out of the penalty box, and so is Jesse Fisher. So now this one is one that is going to go for a full 2 minutes. I'm pretty sure on this one. No, she didn't go to the penalty box. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. But the jam is over. And there was a lot that happened there. I don't know. I saw Jesse going to the penalty box, but I guess it wasn't really a penalty maybe. So looks like we're all good. That jam is over, and we are ending at a 111 to 53. And I'm not surprised to hear a timeout there. I think with all that confusion at the end of that jam, they're probably trying to figure out something with the scoring and making sure that that score is completely accurate. It's pretty complicated to score a roller derby game, and lots of people are involved in that roller derby game. So I'm sure we've got all of our officials, our dazzle of referees, as I said earlier, are working closely with our NSOs. Our NSOs are wearing black t-shirts, and they are known as non-skating officials, and they do a lot to keep this game going behind the scenes. Speaking of NSOs, our NSO list for this game includes Bethley, who is our head NSO. And Bethley has a great team consisting of Marin, Galvatron, Kelsey Grammer, Zaddy, Mary Choppins, Ray L, Quit Your Bitchin', Mr. Bruise Guy, Crash Bandy-Oops, Heathem, and Ranger Danger. Like I said, there's a lot of people who can make these games happen. We have, I know you can't see it on the cameras, but we have a lot of people in the audience who have brought signs for, it almost looks like every single skater has got a sign just for them. And so it's really great to see this many people here to support both Team Indiana and Team Kentucky. And with that, it looks like the timeout is complete. Our score looks like it's standing firm at 111-53. We've got Rita Repulsa for Team Indiana and Bambi Thumper for Team Kentucky. Rita sweeps to the inside and very quickly takes that lead jammer status. Bambi is working her way through the pack, trying to stretch that pack out as much as she can, as Rita comes through and hits a complement of 3 Kentucky blockers. Has a little trouble, but quickly makes it through. Some jammer on jammer action as she comes out of the pack. We've got Bambi Thumper just ahead of Rita Repulsa, who decides to call the jam before Bambi can score any points. All right, for this next jam, looks like Team Indiana's trying a new strategy. They came up to the pivot line to start a little bit further up. I'm not sure if they're going to stick with that strategy or if they're going to move right back to the jammer line. We'll have to see. Roulette Wheels for Team Indiana and Reckless Ratchet for Team Kentucky. Roulette Wheels pushes her way through and comes out for lead jammer, followed quickly by Reckless Ratchet. Roulette Wheels coming in hot with Reckless Ratchet right behind her. Roulette Wheels is able to get through, score those 4 points. I think she did it on one leg and called the jam.
We've got Queen of Hearts on the jammer line for Kentucky.
Will Smith for Team Indiana, and Queen of Hearts is jamming for Team Kentucky. As the jam begins, everybody's really just stuck right there on the jammer line. Will Smith trying to make it, sweeping from the inside to the outside, and they are not able quite yet to make it through. The pack is starting to stretch out, and as the pack stretches out, Will Smith is your lead jammer. Queen of Hearts has got the jammer panty off and is looking for the pivot, hoping that she can pass it. As Will Smith comes through and is able to make it through for 4 points. Queen of Hearts is getting recycled. Some strong jamming from Team Indiana as Queen of Hearts is finally able to get around Teeth just a little bit. Rogue and Teeth holding Queen of Hearts back as best as they can. Queen of Hearts makes it through on the outside, does not need to do a jammer pass, and is putting that jammer panty back on as looks like Will Smith is calling the jam. That takes us to Team Indiana 125 and Team Kentucky at 53. Okay, we have got Jesse Fisher for Team Indiana and Bambi Thumper for Team Kentucky. Jesse Fisher comes out as your lead jammer. Bambi Thumper is working on she has got, looks like Boggs and another Indiana blocker working to hold Bambi Thumper as best they can. Bambi is able to zig around Boggs and make it through as Jessie Fisher is working her way through the pack. Big empty spot on the inside line. Jessie Fisher's able to make it out of that pack and score those 4 points. We've only got about a minute and a half left in this half, so we will be taking a break in just a little bit. I'm guessing we've got at least one jam left, maybe two, depends on how long this one goes. So both teams hoping to score a few more points before the break here. All right, we've got Team Indiana, Rita Repulsa, and Team Kentucky, Reckless Ratchet. Reckless Ratchet working to make her way out on the outside. Reckless Ratchet is your lead jammer, as Rita Repulsa looks like working her way through. She's got the jammer panty off, so she might be looking for the pivot to make a pass, as Reckless Ratchet is pushed to the inside as she comes through to make her pass. I think that was Rita who made it through. And that is the half. So with that, we are standing at Team Indiana with 129 points, Team Kentucky at 57 points. We're going to take a quick 15-minute break, and we will be back for the second half of this game. We are about 2 minutes away from getting back to some Derby action. So today you are watching Team Indiana battle Team Kentucky in preparation for Battle of the All-Stars. Battle of the All-Stars is only 95 days away, so it's going to be in March. There's going to be over 600 skaters from 24 different states battling it out to see who can be the best. So this game is really a good chance for both Kentucky and Indiana to get a good sense of what it feels like to battle another state, when in March they're going to be battling a whole lot more. In 2013 was the first Battle of the All-Stars tournament, and a fun fact about Battle of the All-Stars, even though we've got 24 teams playing, since Battle of the All-Stars started in 2013, only 2 teams have won the championship, Pennsylvania and New York. Those are the only 2 teams that have ever won Battle of the All-Stars. So you might want to check it out in March to see if either Team Indiana or Team Kentucky can get up there with a medal in the Battle of the All-Stars. Team Kentucky has been to the Battle of the All-Stars twice, in 2018 and 19. Team Kentucky was founded in 2017. Team Indiana was just founded in 2022, and this will be their first trip to Battle of the All-Stars. Neither team has ever won any medals at Battle of the All-Stars, so maybe this year is the year for both Team Indiana and Team Kentucky to be on the podium for that game. But for now, we're going to be looking at getting back to the action very shortly here. We've only got about 30 seconds left, and everybody is getting ready to get started. Now, because we had a blocker from Team Indiana in the penalty box at the end of the first half, that blocker will start the second half in the penalty box because she will need to serve the remaining time left on her penalty. So we're going to start with, it looks like Will Smith is lining up as the jammer for Team Indiana, and I cannot quite see who Team Kentucky is, but I will let you know that as soon as I can. And that whistle means it is the start of the second half. All right. Will Smith gets out quickly for Team Indiana, followed by Reckless Ratchet, also getting out of the pack. Will Smith quickly looks over to the coach for some direction as Rogue comes out of the box. And Will Smith makes it through, but it looks like Reckless Ratchet might have scored a point or two. Yep, looks like she did steal a little point there. All right, that one emptied the penalty box out, so we are... Nope. We are still down one blocker from Team Indiana, but she is standing as we start the jam with Roulette Wheels for Team Indiana and Bambi Thumper for Team Kentucky. Both jammers real scrappy with some very strong blocking tripods from both Team Indiana and Team Kentucky. As the Team Indiana blocker comes out of the penalty box, makes some room for Roulette Wheels, and Roulette Wheels is your lead jammer. Bambi Thumper taking the star off, hoping to pass it to the Kentucky pivot as Roulette Wheels comes through to try and make a pass. Roulette Wheels is getting a little stuck up in the pack with a strong complement of 4 Team Kentucky blockers working to keep her from getting forward as Team Kentucky has completed a successful star pass to Thriller, and Thriller is now going to be putting the jammer hat on and will become your jammer for Team Kentucky as Roulette Wheels calls off the jam before Thumper can score any points. At the moment, the score is 137 Team Indiana, 58 Team Kentucky. Queen of Hearts is on the line for Team Kentucky, and Jessie Fisher is lining up for Team Indiana. The jam has started. Jessie Fisher is working her way on the outside while Queen of Hearts is trying to make her way through on the inside. Jessie Fisher sweeps to the inside and is knocked out by a Team Kentucky blocker. Rogue is currently recycling Queen of Hearts. And Jessie Fisher has gotten lead jammer, but as she gets lead jammer, she is recycled back. So she is still in the pack, although she does hold lead jammer status. Queen of Hearts is getting recycled back again by Rogue from Team Indiana. The pack is very stretched out at this point as Jessie Fisher emerges from the pack. Queen of Hearts has, it looks like, made a successful star pass, so the pivot for Team Kentucky now has that jammer star and will be coming out of the pack. We are going to pause real quick for an injury timeout. while we're paused for this injury timeout, something that we do in roller derby is we make sure to always have medics on hand in case of an injury. Obviously, we never like it when injuries happen, but we've always got some really great medics standing by to make sure that everyone is safe and we can get them as full back to health as we can as quickly as possible. So having medics on site is something that's really important in these sports games. I'm seeing in the comments that we are freezing up. It seems that our internet is a little bit in and out here, and so hopefully the stream will kind of figure itself out as best as it can, and hopefully we'll get a little bit less laggy and not as much freezing up. And it looks like the injured player is all right, was able to skate back to the bench and is going to be doing okay. It's always good to see a skater back on her feet after an injury. They can sometimes be a little bit scary, so it's always good to see them be able to get back on their skates and get right back over to the bench. I think she might need a little bit of a break here. So with that, we are going to get ready to start our next jam. Currently at Team Indiana 139 and Team Kentucky 58. For Team Kentucky, we have a new jammer we have not seen before. It looks like Bettelskar is going to be going up against Rita Repulsa from Team Indiana. Both jammers getting stuck behind some very strong blocking walls. Rita making it looking like she's gonna be making it out, just getting by all of the blockers on the outside line to get lead jammer. Bettelskar has taken the jammer star off and is looking for the pivot so that she can make that pass. She chooses not to and almost makes it up the inside line as Rita Repulsa comes through for another 4 points. Rita Repulsa is now has a power jam. It looks like Bettelskar is in the penalty box. Rita Repulsa makes it through for another 4 points on this power jam. Team Kentucky getting their walls as set up as they can. It looks like they've got Wham Bam trying to make a little bit of a dent in that wall. She's able to do so, and Rita Repulsa comes out for another 4 points as the Kentucky jammer Bettelskar comes quickly out of the penalty box and is working to break up Team Indiana's walls as best she can as Rita Repulsa comes through on the inside line for another 4 points. Directional is called on 1983 for Kentucky, who is the pivot. So that means that Bettelskar is not going to have anyone to pass to while she is sitting in the penalty box. And the jam is called. That was a lot of points for Team Indiana in that power jam there. A timeout has been called, so we will pause shortly. We are happy to be streaming this game for you from the Delaware County Fairgrounds in Muncie, Indiana. Muncie, Indiana is the home of Corn-Fed Roller Derby, who are hosting Team Indiana and Team Kentucky tonight. Corn-Fed is getting ready for their season, which will be beginning in January. So they'll be having some games here at the Delaware County Fairgrounds. For those of you who don't know where Muncie, Indiana is, we are pretty much in the middle of Indiana, but we are the largest city that is the furthest amount away from an interstate in the United States. So we're like, 10 miles from the interstate, I think? So, but we're a really big city. We are the home of Ball State University, where some of our camera operators are from. We've got Caitlin, Lucas, and Carl on our cameras today. They are some of Ball State's finest, working our cameras for us. So hope you're all enjoying your evening and enjoying the stream. And it's been just such a great game between both Team Indiana and Team Kentucky today. Really strong play from both of them. Looks like we have a fan who is just going to rally up the audience as we wait for this to end, and he is ready to get the crowd riled up for, it looks like Team Indiana. Is that? Yeah, that's a Team Indiana shirt that he is wearing. So, but I think he's equally getting both Team Indiana fans and Team Kentucky fans very excited. And we are now spelling Indiana as a crowd. Always fun to have fun at these games. The jam starts, and Will Smith is quickly out as your lead jammer. Whoa! Reckless Ratchet making it a fantastic jump to get out right behind them. Will Smith matches with an apex jump of their own to score 4 points in a spectacular fashion. Both jammers looking really great in that jam. Getting the crowd real energized there. Team Indiana 163, Team Kentucky 58. Team Indiana looks like they are trying to get one more blocker out on the track before the jam starts. And they make it, and we are, very beautiful dance along the inside line from Roulette Wheels to take lead jammer, as Queen of Hearts is working her way to try and battle through. Looks like Spinelli ended up with a penalty. Not sure what for on that one. So Team Indiana is down a pivot while Roulette Wheels is trying to make her way through for her pass. She is on a scoring pass right now. Queen of Hearts is not yet out of the pack, as an Indiana blocker takes a penalty for a back block and is headed to the penalty box to join Spinelli. So Queen of Hearts has 2 blockers to get through at this point and is able to get through, coming out behind Roulette Wheels. Queen of Hearts puts that jammer panty back on because you can't score points in roller derby unless you have got the star on your helmet. Roulette Wheels is able to call the jam off before Queen of Hearts can get through to score any points, leaving us with a score of 167 to 58. Looks like we're starting this jam down one Indiana blocker. Jesse Fisher on the line for Team Indiana and Bambi Thumper for Team Kentucky. Both working to make their way through. Bambi Thumper getting pushed to the outside and recycled back by Diamond from Team Indiana, while Jesse Fisher makes it out of the pack. There's a huge, I'm not sure what happened there, but we've got a blocker from Team Kentucky headed to the box on that one, while Jessie Fisher's coming back in the pack to score some points. Working to make her way through. She is through and calls the jam. We're going to have a quick pause for track repair. The score right now is 172 to 58.
We got Thriller on the line for Kentucky.
And we have an official timeout while we work on track repair. It's really important to have our track not pose any danger to our skaters. So we do have a rope on the ground, which is covered in tape. And if that tape comes up at all, that poses a hazard to our refs and our, we've got Ogre, one of our refs, helping with track repair. You don't often see that. Usually we've got some volunteers doing track repair. But here in Muncie, Indiana, you've got full service referees who also will help with track repair. Oh, we've also got Richie Cranium and Pure Poly also helping with track repair. Typically, you don't see refs doing that. We've got a great ref crew here in the Midwest. During these timeouts is always one of my favorite times when you're waiting for the game to start again. You've got both teams that just kind of sitting there waiting. And so it's a great chance to kind of get to know the other team. Sometimes there's some dance-offs that happen. Lots of fun things. It's really, we really love to have a lot of fun here. And as much as we are playing against each other, you know, we all have the sport of roller derby in common and really love to get to know each other. A lot of these skaters have skated against each other for years. Kentucky and Indiana are pretty close. And so many of these skaters have seen each other when they play on their home teams and end up playing against each other. It's also real nice coming out of COVID to be able to start skating again and see each other. A lot of these skaters had to take some time off, and being able to get back to Derby just is very joyful for all of us. And so really fun to just get to see each other again. Oh, Ogre is ready for us to get started again after he did some of his best track maintenance, and he goes back to his position. And we are about ready to get back to Derby here. All right, Rita Repulsa for Team Indiana coming out very quickly. Oh, and there was a penalty assessed to Rita Repulsa, so they will not be lead jammer. That lead jammer will go to Thriller from Team Kentucky, as Rita Repulsa is going to be in the penalty box. So this is an opportunity for Thriller to come through and get some points. Unfortunately, Thriller is called for a track cut and is headed to the penalty box themselves. Rita Repulsa is standing and comes out. We can't have both jammers in the penalty box at the same time. So as of now, Rita Repulsa is out of the box. We have 1 minute and 13 seconds left in this jam. This jam will go the full time because our lead jammer did go to the penalty box. So Rita Repulsa is trying to make her way through the pack, while Thriller is just coming out of the penalty box and is going to be working their way through the pack as well. Some strong blocking from an Indiana blocker. That looks to be LC Hammer from Circle City was doing some pretty strong blocking there. Rita made it out of the pack and is coming around. And looks to be a little bit stuck in the pack. We've got some Team Kentucky really holding her, but she is able to make it through as Thriller is recycled back to the back of the pack by Malls Dolls, as Rita Repulsa is coming out of the pack again on another scoring pass. The packs are starting to stretch out. And the jam is over. With that long jam, we end up with a score of 181 to 61 as we prepare for the next jam. All right, as we line up, it looks like the penalty box is empty, so we will have a full complement of 4 blockers for each team and 1 jammer for each team. We've got Will Smith for Team Indiana and Reckless Ratchet for Team Kentucky. Both jammers stuck in the back of the pack, but Reckless Ratchet is able to make it through on the outside line. Will Smith looking for some help from their Team Indiana blockers, trying to make it out of the pack as Reckless Ratchet comes through on a scoring pass. Will Smith is now out of the pack as Reckless Ratchet is working to score as many points as they can before calling off the jam. And there were 3 points scored in that jam by Team Kentucky, taking them up to 64.
Bambi Thumper is on the line for Kentucky, and Susanna Beal on the line for Indiana.
So we've got Roulette Wheels for Team Indiana and Bambi Thumper for Team Kentucky. Both trying to make their way through. Some strong blockers. A penalty is called on 4-12 for Kentucky as both jammers are still trying to make their way through as Roulette Wheels comes through and is your lead jammer. Followed quickly by Bambi Thumper coming right behind her. Roulette Wheels is going to try to get through and score some points and is calling the jam. I think she was able to get all 4 points there. Yep, she was. All right, for the first time, we are seeing Jam Beasley for Team Kentucky and Jessie Fisher for Team Indiana. Jessie Fisher is quickly out on one leg as your lead jammer, as Jam Beasley is looking for some help from her blockers to try and make it through a strong tripod at Team Indiana. Jessie Fisher's coming through, does a spin on the inside line and is able to get around Tank from Team Kentucky, as Team Kentucky's blockers now come back in and they now have a full complement of blockers as Jessie tries to make it through on the inside, apologizes to the refs before she even gets a penalty. I'm not sure what the penalty was for, but she sure did. So she's going to sit for a few seconds while Jam Beasley now has an opportunity to possibly score some points for Team Kentucky. Looks like another penalty was called. I've got 2 Team Indiana blockers sitting, 3 Team Indiana blockers looking like they're going to the box. So Team Kentucky has got an opportunity here. Spinelli was sent to the box but needed to come back because the box was full. And when the box gets full, you've got to wait until it's time for your turn to go sit in the box. So once one of those blockers comes out, Spinelli will be able to go into the box. During this confusion, Jam Beasley from Team Kentucky has managed to make a couple passes, it looks like, and able to score some points for Team Kentucky as Jessie Fisher comes back out of the box and quickly makes her 4 points. All right, the penalty box is starting to empty out, and the jam only has about 15 seconds left, both jammers having worked very hard during these 2 minutes. Jessie Fisher makes it around for another scoring pass, as does Jam Beasley. And the jam is called. Both jammers having done a great job during that jam. We are in a timeout. There is an official review. So what happens during an official review is something happened during that jam that one of the teams did not like. So a lot of times this does have to do with penalties and whether or not they agree with a penalty. So at this point, the captain of the team, of both teams, and a coach from both teams go talk to the officials and they state, this is what I am thinking may not have been the right call. And now our dazzle of referees will meet together and discuss who saw what and whether or not they agree that that should be reversed. We're not like a lot of sports where we do not have a video camera. We don't go look at the cameras or anything like that. We use our memories and our eyes to try and figure out what really happened. So official reviews are limited. Teams can't just do them over and over and over again. So they have to be careful in terms of using those official reviews sparingly. And whatever decision that the referees make as a result of this official review is final. And they may decide to change it. They may decide to keep it the same. And I just love it when the referees are all standing in a circle because it's still a dazzle. A dazzle of referees. I don't know why. It just pleases me because they're zebras. So it looks like if things stand as they are right now, we're going to start this next jam with one Kentucky blocker in the penalty box and 2 Indiana blockers in the penalty box, including the pivot. So we will see what happens. Sometimes official reviews can take a little while, and sometimes they're very quick. It really depends on what happened. It looks like the referees have decided on their answer, and they are currently giving the information to the coaches and the captains and letting them know why they made the decision that they did and what that decision is going to be, which means we should be back to Derby fairly soon. So in the second half, it looks like Team Indiana has really stuck to their jammer rotation that they've been using for the entire game. Team Kentucky has had a couple different jammers that they have put in the second half that we didn't see in the first half. So I wonder if they will stick to that and continue rotating out some new jammers, or if Team Indiana will perhaps use some other jammers. We shall see. Some of the jammers we have seen today, we've got Jesse Fisher from Indiana, is a jammer who's been playing roller derby since 2010 and is currently a skater for Circle City. When she isn't playing roller derby, Jessie is a stay-at-home mom to take care of her daughter. Her pre-bout pump-up song is This Is How We Do It by Montel Jordan. We've also seen a bit of Bambi Thumper today from Team Kentucky. She skates with Vet City Roller Derby. She's got fancy spins and fearless blocking against any skater, no matter the size, and she can change from pivot to jammer in the blink of an eye. She jokes that sometimes she doesn't even know where she's going. When she's not bouncing around blockers with grace, she is a medical physicist? That sounds pretty fancy. We've been seeing a lot of Will Smith. They have been playing roller derby since 2009. There was a 3-year break following the 2019 season. Willie is a retired Naptown jammer, but they are still active and can be seen jamming in various pickup games and scrimmages. Willie's favorite band is Tegan and Sarah, and a fun fact about them is they married Trudy the same day same-sex marriage became legal in Indiana. The next Team Kentucky jammer I'd like to talk about is Lex Luthor, number 92. Lex Luthor skates with Vet City Roller Derby and is infamous for her side catches, recycling the jammer and holding the lines. When she takes the track, she's no ordinary skater. Her genius ability to adapt in any situation makes her a jammer's kryptonite. Lex is a full-time student and part-time merchandiser when she's not showing the universe her wealth of derby skills. We might feature some more skaters later, but for now we are going to get back to the action with some derby again. We've got Rita Repulsa lining up for Team Indiana and Reckless Ratchet for Team Kentucky. Reckless Ratchet comes out as lead jammer with Rita Repulsa right behind her. As Reckless Ratchet comes around, she's going to have to get past two Indiana blockers who push her to the inside, or Kentucky blockers. And Reckless Ratchet is able to get through those Indiana blockers as Rita works her way through. Reckless easily comes through the pack again for another scoring pass. And is followed by Rita through these fast-moving packs. And the jam is called with Team Kentucky picking up quite a few points in that one. Team Kentucky is now at 80 points to Team Indiana's 204. All right, Will Smith is on the line for Team Indiana, and Queen of Hearts is for Team Kentucky. We have seen both these jammers quite a bit tonight. They have got to be tired. Jamming is a very, very difficult role, and both of them have been out quite a bit tonight. They are both working their way around, and Queen of Hearts is out as your lead jammer, followed closely behind by Will Smith. They are racing as fast as they can as the packs are spread out. We've got a little jammer-on-jammer action as Will Smith pushes Queen of Hearts out of bounds, comes back in, and is met by a strong Kentucky blocking line and is pushed to the inside. Queen of Hearts is working her way through and is attempting to call off the jam, and that jam will be called. Always fun with jammer-on-jammer action when the two jammers can kind of get at each other. It's always quite fun. All right, we have Bambi Thumper for Team Kentucky versus Roulette Wheels for Team Indiana. Team Kentucky's taken the front line on this one as Roulette Wheels comes through, trying to push her way through a couple very tough Team Kentucky blockers. As the blockers get spread out, Roulette Wheels is your lead jammer, and we're going to see a Kentucky blocker go to the penalty box as Bambi Thumper, very fancy footwork from Bambi Thumper to get out of the pack. She is going to make her way through, and Roulette Wheels, after scoring her 4 points, calls the jam. 4 points for Indiana in that jam, leaving us at 210 Team Indiana and 83 Team Kentucky. Thriller is going to be lining up for Team Kentucky for her second time jamming tonight, and she's going to go up against Jessie Fisher, who we have seen quite a bit from Team Indiana. Jessie is pushed to the inside while Thriller is working her way up, trying to push right through, and is breaking apart the Team Indiana blockers. Does a little tiptoe on the inside line and is unfortunately called on a track cut, while Jessie Fisher makes it out of the pack as your lead jammer. This is now a power jam for Jessie Fisher. Blockers are resetting to get ready for that power jam. Two Indiana blockers come up to try and help Jessie Fisher as the pack is speeding up, and she is easily able to make it through and score 4 points. We've still got Thriller in the penalty box at this point. So Jessie Fisher's coming through to try and make another pass. And is on one leg and almost makes it through without going out of bounds, but unfortunately is needing to be recycled back while Thriller comes back into the pack. The pack is breaking up as it is speeding up. Jessie Fisher gets through for those 4 points for a second time, which doesn't mean she gets the 4 points twice. She only gets them once, but she had to make it through the pack again to get through to score the points she's now currently scoring. She will score a point for every blocker whose hips she passes, and she has passed all 4, as unfortunately Thriller is going to be headed to the penalty box for a second time. And we'll leave Jessie Fisher with yet another power jam. Let's see if she can make use of it and score some points. Jessie Fisher is recycled back. Boggs giving a little bit of help to her former teammate, and Jessie Fisher is able to get through. A great scoring jam for Team Indiana. Thriller is currently standing, which means she has less than 10 seconds left on her penalty before she will come in. So Team Indiana will start with a very short power jam, and then Thriller will come in. So we'll see if Team Indiana can establish lead jammer before Thriller is out of the penalty box. A timeout has been called, as everybody tries to figure out their strategy for what to do next. Unfortunately, I do not have a look into the penalties and where people are at, but I've seen quite a few people go to the penalty box. And if you end up with 7 penalties, that means you are going to be done for the game. So I'm sure that is part of what's being discussed right now, is people trying to figure out how many penalties do I have and how close am I to 7? Because if I get to 7, that's not a good thing. So always, people like to play until the end of the game, but not everybody gets to if we end up in the penalty box too much. So it feels like everybody's kind of had their share of time in the penalty box today. So I guess we're just sharing the love. Everybody gets a few penalties. It's okay. It happens to everybody. Looks like the timeout is over, and we are getting back to a power jam for Indiana, as Thriller is very close to coming out of the box. The Kentucky pivot is also in the box right now. Not sure how much time they have to sit. Rita Repulsa splits apart the Kentucky blockers and is able to make it through for lead jammer. Thriller comes hot out of the box and is being recycled back by Wham Bam from Team Indiana, as Rita comes around for a scoring pass, is slowed down by some Kentucky blockers, but is able to make it through to score 4 points and call off the jam. All right, we have Reckless Ratchet lining up for Team Kentucky and Will Smith for Team Indiana. Reckless Ratchet is pulling Team Kentucky forward, trying to break up the pack, while Will Smith is facing a tough tripod from Team Kentucky. Reckless Ratchet is able to make it out as your lead jammer with a little bit of a whip from Rogue. Will Smith is able to make it out. Reckless Ratchet coming around as 1 foot on that inside line to get around a Team Indiana blocker as she comes around. Will Smith answering Reckless Ratchet's 4 points with 4 points of her own. Reckless Ratchet comes into the pack on another scoring pass, is pushed to the inside line and calls the jam. Kentucky getting 6 points on that jam compared to Team Indiana's 4 points. Queen of Hearts is lining up for Team Kentucky. Roulette Wheels for Team Indiana. Both jammers we've seen quite a bit tonight. We've only got about 5 minutes left to play in this game, which has just been full of really great moves, really strong blocking, and pretty tricky, spinny, amazing jamming. Both jammers working their way through, trying to break up these strong blocking tripods. Roulette Wheels going behind a tripod, going to the inside. Roulette Wheels comes out as your lead jammer. Queen of Hearts is taking off that jammer star and is looking for a pivot to pass that star to, while Roulette Wheels comes through and is pushed to the inside, recycled back as Queen of Hearts is able to make it out of the pack and is not able to come around to score any points as Roulette Wheels calls off the jam. All right, less than 5 minutes left in this game. We have Team Indiana at 238 and Team Kentucky at 89. Looks like Team Indiana and Team Kentucky both have one player in the penalty box right now, so we are starting this jam with 3 blockers for each team. Bambi Thumper and Jesse Fisher are your jammers, both working their way through. Jesse's able to get up through the middle to become lead jammer. Bambi Thumper tries to take the outside line and is recycled back as Boggs and Diamond from Team Indiana are big hit from Boggs. Bambi Thumper is able to get back up and is really working hard to get her way through as Jessie Fisher is sneaking by for another pass. Lovely spin, and she calls it off. That's beautiful. Whew. There are some amazing moves being made by these players today. Just fabulous. I see a question on if we'll be broadcasting all the All-Star games. My husband is Sirius Lee, and he is, there is a great lead jam gotten there by Rita with a nice little hop. Sirius Lee's on our cameras today, and I'm Aria Kidding Me, and I'm your announcer, and we are both local to Muncie, Indiana. So we will be hopefully streaming some of the Corn-Fed Derby Dames games, but not sure if we're going to be traveling to do any more. Announcing as your Kentucky jammer is able to get out of the pack. Rita calls off the jam. And that was, I don't know if anybody scored any points in that one. Looks like there were some points scored by 3 points for Team Indiana with that jam. All right, Will Smith for Team Indiana, getting through right up the middle. Bambi Thumper is your jammer for Team Kentucky, working her way through a tripod. She gets through as Will Smith comes in to try and score, but is recycled to the inside and has to call off the jam before Bambi can come in and score some points. We are at 2 minutes left in this game. This has been such a fun game, and thank you all for watching. It's been great seeing. We have 85 current viewers on our stream, and it has just been great to spend the evening with you and have you watch this game. And the jam is on. Roulette Wheels for Team Indiana and Queen of Hearts for Team Kentucky. Queen of Hearts pushed to the outside while Roulette Wheels is being recycled back. Both jammers facing some Vader Vader from Team Kentucky doing some pretty strong blocking on roulette wheels there, while Rogue is headed to the penalty box for Team Indiana. Both jammers recycled to the inside. These are some really tough packs. Great defense from both teams as both jammers are still struggling to make it out. I don't think we've had a jam make it this long without a jammer getting out this entire game. Another penalty. It sounds like that was a forearm penalty for one of our Kentucky players. As the pack starts to spread out, it looks like Queen of Hearts is coming out for Team Kentucky as your lead jammer, with roulette wheels coming right behind. Let's see if Queen of Hearts can score any points before roulette wheels makes it through. And she is able to, and does not call the jam. This jam will probably be the last jam of the night as both jammers are out of the pack and coming around to see if they can score any more points. Oh, beautiful tiptoes from roulette wheels. And it looks like that is the end of the jam and the end. Oh, wait, there might have been a timeout called right before the end of the game was called. There will be one more jam. It's always fun to get that one last jam. The crowd has stayed huge this entire game. This has been a wonderful game. People have just been really enjoying it tonight. It's nice to come out on a cold night in December and really enjoy some really strong roller derby. If you have a chance to come see either of these teams in March at Battle of the All-Stars, they'll be there with 600 other skaters, and I think I said 24 different teams, all battling to be the best at the Battle of the All-Stars. They've also been doing some exhibition games here and there, so you might see these teams in other places as well. But really their main focus right now has been getting ready for Battle of the All-Stars. All right, and here we go with our last jam of the night. The crowd is on their feet to cheer everybody on and looking to just have a great time with this one last jam. And the jam has started. Jessie Fisher for Team Indiana and Reckless Ratchet for Team Kentucky. The period clock has run out, so this definitely will be your last jam tonight, as Reckless Ratchet is so scrappy, just working her way through, getting, oh darn, ending up Jessie Fisher through as your lead jammer, while Reckless Ratchet is going to the penalty box, so this will be a power jam for Jessie Fisher. The home crowd is definitely loving that, as the Indiana blockers working their way through Team Kentucky. Jessie Fisher calls the jam, and that is your game. Unofficial score of 259-94. Both teams having worked incredibly hard. Both teams having done such a wonderful job. This game has truly been a delight to announce, and just look forward to seeing both of these teams and how they do at Battle of the All-Stars. We're all very excited that after a long break from COVID, that Derby is back. And we hope that we will see you at more live streams and more games. And don't forget to support local roller derby.